My name is Krissa Stevens DeRogier. I'm San Carlos Apache, so I'm Native American, and I'm also a double major here, ethnic studies with the concentration in Native American studies, and a government major as well.
So thank everybody for coming here today. This class session is on the Aztec calendar system, was known as the Aztec calendar, and in particular what's known as more correctly as the Sunstone. The Sunstone is referred to as the Aztec calendar, but in reality it's not like a calendar you just look at and you can tell what day, if it's Tuesday or Wednesday type of thing. It's more of a metaphorical, artistic representation of how your ancestors of Mexico, Central Mexico, viewed the universe, and how they structured time, how they viewed duality, the powers of nature, and how they combined that all in one artistic representation. And where it all begins is there a lot of different native peoples from North and South America have their creation stories. The creation stories of the Azteca, Mexica, who are known today where Mexicans get their name from. The creation was the fifth sun. That's when life began. That's when time started. And the story goes that at Teotihuacan, this is Teotihuacan, the ruins outside of Mexico City. This is the Temple of the Sun. And the story goes, Teotihuacan, what that means in Nahuatl being the primary language of native Mexico. As a matter of fact, the majority of the names, the town names, the place names in Mexico still retain their indigenous names. The name Mexico itself, Mexico, is a Nahuatl name. A lot of the words we use in Mexican Spanish, so to speak, also in English, are Nahuatl words such as chocolate, tomato, cacahuate, chile. All those come from Nahuatl words. We'll go through this because we got a short time. If you have any questions, let's save them to the end. I'm going to try to go through this because there's a lot of information to cover. So if you have a question, save it for the end. So the spirits, Teo in Nahuatl means like spirit, like a spiritual energy, spiritual force, which Europeans identified as relating to gods, being that the Greek name for God is Theo. So it's a similar sounding word. And Teotihuacan means the place where the spirits gathered. So the Mexica Azteca believed that that was a great place that was already in ruins when they found it from a prior civilization, which we do not know the name of. The Aztecs named it Teotihuacan. It's a Nahuatl word. And the creation story goes that at Teotihuacan, the spirits gathered together and there was darkness. And they talked amongst themselves. How would they go about creating light, giving life to the world? Because all sorts of energy and all sorts of life comes from the power of the sun. So they gathered together and they discussed amongst themselves who would sacrifice themselves in order to give life to humanity and to the universe. And so they built a great bonfire. Two spirits stepped up and volunteered to be those sacrifices. One of them was Nanahuatzin, who is pictured down here. And he's represented artistically as being arthritic. You see his eyes hanging out, his feet and his hands are curled up, meaning that he was sickly. He was not in good health. The other one was Tecuzistecat. Tecuzistecat was, he was more like a noble. He was young. He was a prince. He was in good shape. He had, good clothes on, all that good stuff. So they both volunteered to be those sacrifices, and they fasted for 5 days, meditated on it. So the fifth day came in order for them to make that sacrifice and jump into the pit of flames. Nanahuatzin, or Tecuzistecat, being the proud one, walked up to the flames and felt the heat of the fire and had second thoughts. He changed his mind and he stepped back. Nanahuatzin, being committed, disciplined, walked up to the flame and jumped in without hesitation. He then was transformed into the sun. Tecuzistecatl, out of shame of having somebody who was crippled kind of show him up, jumped in out of shame. He became the other son. So the next day, the spirits were sitting there waiting, and the two sons rise. They conferred amongst themselves that Tecuzistecatl did not deserve to shine as bright as Nanahuatzin, or now called Tonatiuh. He did not deserve to shine as bright as him because he was not as disciplined, he was not committed, he did not follow through, he only did it out of shame. He did not show full bravery. So one of the spirits picked up a rabbit and threw it at the face of Tecuzistecatl, darkening him and leaving the impression of the rabbit on the moon. As you can see, if you can make it out, let's see if this pointer's working. Can you guys see the rabbit? Yeah. Okay. This is floppy ears right there. That's body. That's the cola right there, the little tail. These are his patas right here. Back patas. These are his front patas. This is his eye. Can you see it? He's like a rabbit, like he's leaping, like he's jumping over something. Okay, so if you guys can't see it, just look it up later on Google or something. This symbol right here is known as, it's representative of Native Mexican and also Mayan spirituality. Much like the yin-yang of Asia, this is kind of like the Aztec Mayan version of yin-yang. This is known as duality. The name of that the Mexica or the Nahuatl people of central Mexico gave to their spiritual creator was Ometeo, which means two spirit. That denotes the duality in nature. That dual spirit was comprised of a male and a female spirit. So they were both together in one, two spirits together in one. Kind of how Catholics believe in the Trinity, where you have three parts that create one. Now, where this originates and the calendar originates from, and much of the culture of Mesoamerica or Mexico, Central South America, originates from the earliest known civilization that was building structures, using art, things of that nature were called the Olmeca. We also do not know their original name of what they called themselves. Olmeca is a name that was given to them by the Aztecs, which means the rubber people. Because in that region of Mexico is where you have trees where they would get rubber. So they're known as the rubber people. And what you see here, if you could tell by sometimes people confuse it and say, oh, well, it looks like African features, maybe African people came here, but what it is, you see the enlarged lips and the slanted eyes. What that is not necessarily, it's not African features, it's associated with the jaguar. The jaguar, as you can see over here on the left side with the fangs, the Olmeca worshipped the jaguar or venerated the jaguar as being part of their culture. The jaguar to Mexico, to the Aztecs and Mayas, is equivalent to what the tiger is to Asia. It's associated with spiritual, magical powers, and so their culture in many ways was infused with qualities of the jaguar. As you can see right here, of an art piece from the Tarascans, and this is a picture of one of the main spirits of Aztec belief, Tezcatlipoca, which means the smoking mirror. And he's representative of basically the subconscious. But you can see the tools that he's holding, those spots, those are jaguar fur, also on his legs. And what you can see right here, this right here is a smoking mirror. That's a mirror, obsidian mirror. Obsidian is black volcanic rock that's used for weapons, but it's also used for mirrors. So his foot is substituted as a mirror, and those yellow pieces you see coming off represents the smoke. And that's also associated with his astrological representation of one of the constellations, and the mythology goes that he had a battle with the earth monster who bit off his foot. That's why he walks around with a